All right, so question number 19. A new rectangular outbuilding for a farm is being designed. The outbuilding side and bottom should be 4 feet thick. Its outer length should be twice its outer width and height. What should the outer dimensions of the building be if it is to have a volume of 2,304 cubic feet? Okay, so what is volume? Okay, what is volume though? Like, what does it measure? The space inside. That's important to understand, is it's the space inside. So, you have a building, and obviously you're assuming it's a rectangular building because it told you that. So I'm going to draw that I have some sort of rectangular building here. Oops. Okay. And what do we know about the outer lengths and stuff? What did it tell us? Here's my length, here's my width, and here's my height, by the way. The side and the bottom should be 4 feet thick. What that's telling you is that these walls are 4 foot thick. So there's actually kind of 2 layers. There's another layer here. Well, kind of. There we go. That's a little better. So there is like a layer inside of this layer. And what we know is that this is 4 foot and this is 4 foot. So imagine a box, but just the sides of your box are extra thick. That's what you're looking at. Okay, and our top is not included in that because it didn't say anything about it said the building, the sides and the bottom are 4 foot thick, but the top is not. It didn't say anything about that. Okay, so the top is either, in this case, they're telling us either open or like it's like a thin layer of covering, but you have basically a building of some sort that the walls are 4 foot thick all the way around. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. So what else did they tell you about the length? What did they say about the length? Okay, what did they tell you about the width and height? Anything? No. They told you the length is twice those though. So what can you infer about your width and your height from that? They're equal. So let's say our width is X, then our height would also be X. So then our length would be what? 2X. On the outside. But volume, what do we say volume measured? The inside, how much the inside part holds. So we've got to figure out what the inside's going to hold and how long the inside pieces are. So if I only want the inside piece, this part right here, is that piece going to be 2X? No, the outside piece is 2X. So how long is the inside piece going to be? 2X minus 8. Because I know that the walls on both sides of this are 4 foot thick. So if all the way across it's 2X, and then I know I have 4 foot over here and 4 foot over here, then I have to take off those 2 4 feet, and I'm left with 2X minus 8. All right, so now we need to find our inside width. Oops, let me do that in yellow again. So we need to find our inside width. So this piece here. Well, our width is X. That's the outside width. Our inside width is going to be what? X minus 8. Okay, what about our inside height? It's going to be X minus 4. Why is this one only X minus 4? It didn't tell you anything about the roof being 4 foot thick. It just said the bottom and the sides. So what we know is that our length, I'm going to write all this out then. Our length is 2X minus 8. Our width is X minus 8 and our X minus 8 and our height is X minus 4. And then how do I find my volume? Multiply all 3 of them together. So to find volume, I need to multiply my length times my width times my height. And what did they tell us our volume actually equaled? 2304. So we know that all of this mess that we have is equivalent to 2,304. Do we know how to multiply all of that? It is very unfortunate. We can FOIL. Because I know how to do this part quickly in my head. X minus 8 times x minus 4 is x squared minus 12x plus 32. All right, and I know, again, this still equals 2304. And so what do you do with this stuff here? What do you do with these two pieces? Multiply them. Do you know how to do that? Okay. We're not used to stuff equaling 2,304. What typically do our problems equal? 0. So what do you need to do eventually to get rid of this 2,304? Subtract it. It's going to give you something with 4 terms, and you're going to be able to group and factor. Okay? Subtract it after you multiply. Okay? All right. So that should help you with 19. 20. 20 was significantly easier. It was. A piece of a rectangular crafting supply is being cut for a new sculpture. You want its length to be 4 times its height and its width to be 2 times its height. And you want it to have a volume of 64 cubic centimeters. It is important that you read a problem in its entirety. And this is something that my Algebra 1 children struggle with too. So please do not feel like you are alone in this. And I just addressed this issue because someone did this earlier. They just saw 64 cubic and they're like, cool, 64 cubed. That is not what that means. You have to make sure you read problems in their entirety. It says 64 cubic centimeters. So that would be written as 64 centimeters cubed, which we're going to ignore units for our actual math part of this. So we just know our volume is 64. What did they tell us? I'm going to label our length, our width, and our height here. Length, width, and height. What did they tell us about our length? 4 times the height. So my length is 4h, and our width was what? 2 times the height, and then our height was just h. So you can use h's, you can use x's, you can use a's, b's, c, d, e, f, g, h. I wouldn't use i's because I represents something completely different. Eventually you'll learn that e also represents something. It's a number too. Welcome to the world of math where we use letters for everything. But to find the volume, I do what? Length times width times height. So 4h times 2h times h, and that equals 64. And what is 4h times 2h times h? 8h cubed equals 64. So you can move the 64 over, and then you could factor, or you could solve that the way it is. That can be solved. So that